Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Video Update. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jaybird. Today's date is Sunday, May 18th, 2025. Dad's out right now, but Amy's in the kitchen. And so I'm kind of flying solo this week. Not totally, not 100% completely like last week, I think it was. I was flying solo. Didn't have anyone to fall back on to interject on the conversation or the subject at hand. But this week, I kind of sort of have someone here to fall back on conversation. It's been a very busy weekend. For those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, you'll know why. Um, and for those of you who aren't friends with me on Facebook, and if you're just, casually tuning in from anywhere in the world, welcome. So we had a very busy week in terms of weather. Um, yeah, we've had some tornado sightings here in Michigan. I think they said there was like 6 or 7 confirmed tornadoes, but the one closest to us was right over here in St. Charles. So how it started out, this was on Thursday, by the way, this past Thursday. Um, They issued a tornado warning for Saginaw County. It was the northernmost part of Saginaw County, and it's like, okay, not really a big deal for us because we're in the southern part of Saginaw County, we're in south central Saginaw County, and then the next thing I know, the entire county is shaded in red, meaning that the entirety of Saginaw County is now under a tornado warning. All of it is under a tornado warning. And then my phone starts going berserk with the EAS alert, tornado warning. And this was at 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:31 in the morning. And so, at night you can't see a tornado, so they tell you just to take shelter. And I guess the storm, it was coming through Marion Springs, which is over this way. And by the time it got over to St. Charles, a tornado had formed. It was an EF0 tornado confirmed by the National Weather Service. I'd written all this down in my journal. How you doing, King Bob? So I'm going to read the information to you. Um, I copied this down in my journal from oh, my nose itches. Ugh, allergy season. So I had recorded this from the National Weather Service. So it was an EF0 tornado, peak wind gust of 85 miles an hour. It traveled 1.6 miles at a width of 250 yards. There were no fatalities and no injuries. So that's a plus. The tornado touched down in the vicinity of Dempsey Road and Walnut Street, southwest of the Kimberly Oaks Golf Club, where my aunt Rhonda was a cook many years ago before I was born. But anyway, southwest of the Kimberly Oaks Golf Club, where numerous soft and hardwood trees were uprooted. A few stands of pine trees were also sheared off. The tornado continued to track northeast, crossing the Bad River, where tree damage was notable from Walnut Street. The tornado then continued northeast across Coal Miners Park, causing additional tree damage. The tornado ended in the vicinity of the neighborhood north of the park, which is over by, which in that area is a subdivision, and it would be over by Michigan Pallet Company, which they didn't include in this report. There was some minor structural damage observed, but the majority of the damage to homes was sustained where large limbs and or uprooted trees fell on and into homes. And Dad and I actually went over there in St. Charles, and the report does match up with what I was able to see and what, the pictures I had taken and posted to my Facebook. But yeah, they got tore up over there pretty badly. And no one got hurt, no one got killed, which is a great thing. But it got pretty wicked around here on Thursday. And what it was, a severe squall line had come through from Wisconsin, and it did some damage. Did some really significant damage, especially on the west side of the state. Um, there was also a tornado that had touched down just north of Charlotte, Michigan, and it clipped the west side of Lansing. And you know, that's a heavily populated area. I think there's like some shopping centers or something on the west side of Lansing over on like Canal Road and all those areas. If you're familiar with Lansing, of course. But I think they said there were 6 confirmed tornadoes statewide. Another one was down in Gregory, Michigan. And the other one was in Atlas Township, Michigan, which is over by Flint. So it was pretty crazy here. We had power surges here a couple times, but we didn't lose power. And the weather was it was freaky. It was crazy. You wanted to interject.
Yes. The one in St. Charles,
Yeah.
did they declare that as an EF0?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
I've been reading. That's why
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I just read it on here. Yeah, it's an EF0 tornado, peak wind gust of 85 miles an hour. That's still pretty strong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a small. It's on the very low end of the what do they call that? The enhanced Fujita scale. But it's still strong enough to do some damage, and there was damage.
Yeah.
The northern part of St. Charles got tore up.
Well, see, my issue is that I don't understand like the EF.
Yeah.
1 or EF0.
Yeah, it's just a rating. They go by like the maximum wind speeds. They've got it like I think it's EF0, EF1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The 5 is like 200 mile an hour winds, I think.
Okay.
So they got it sectioned off according to the wind speed.
Okay.
So it was although it was on the very low end of the enhanced Fujita scale, it had still caused significant damage.
Yeah.
EF0 is still a tornado, and it still did some damage. Yeah, the one in Gregory, I think.
What's the EF stand for?
Enhanced Fujita.
Oh, okay.
Let me see here. I got some other news and other things to get to, but I just wanted to talk about the severe weather. In Atlas Township, that was also an EF0 with maximum winds of 75 miles an hour. The one in Gregory in Livingston County was an EF1 with estimated winds of 90 miles an hour. And so it was rough going, but
It sounds like that's where the area of the coil was.
The what?
It's called a coil.
A coil?
Or is it no, the funnel.
The funnel.
Yeah, you know how it starts up here?
Yeah.
It's like a funnel.
You said coil. It kind of confused me. Well, there were 3 tornadoes though in this area. St. Charles, Atlas Township, and down in Gregory. But there were 3, Atlas Township. That's over by Flint. There were 3 other tornadoes. One was in Lansing. Another one was down near a town called Martin in southwest Michigan. And and then there was one in Battle Creek. Right in downtown Battle Creek. That's what they reported. And oh, you're fine. The tornado, you know, and that's weird too, because a tornado in downtown Battle Creek, where you know, it's a densely populated area. And when they mention like tornadoes in the cities, the towns, I'm thinking, my God, that's that's a heavily densely populated area.
And you got people out there that were actually laying right there
Yeah.
in bed.
Yeah.
And have a tree.
Yeah, that happened in St. Charles. A tree had come down through someone's roof and landed right in the bed. Luckily, the lady wasn't in the bed when it came through the house, but you cannot underestimate the power of nature. You just cannot do it. But yeah, Michigan had its fair share of severe weather on Thursday. Then, it was a tornado event. We were safe. Everything here was good. And then on Friday, they had a little bit of severe weather up in Clare and Gladwin and up in the Mount Pleasant area. Golf ball or no, ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, that'll do some damage, needless to say. Come on, Luna. Come on. You guys do this every time. I go live and then you think you got to go outside. Well, now you're going to wait. Yeah, go up there on the couch and just be good. Moving on. So I was in the hospital last night. I'll talk about that. So I think it was on Friday or Thursday or Friday. I got bitten by a tick, and I'm thinking, okay, it was starting to itch a little bit, and just reactionary. Okay, I'm scratching where it itches, and then I lift up my shirt, and there's a tick starting to burrow into me, and I was like, "You son of a bitch!" And I grabbed it with my thumb and my index finger, pulled it off, and added soap and water and peroxide and trying to keep the area clean. Well, then the skin started to get red around the bite site. And I told my dad, I said, I should just go to the hospital just as a precautionary measure, just to have this bite looked at to make sure that it's not anything serious because I'm no expert and I'm not going to rely on Google to tell me what's going on. So dad took me to Owasso last night to the hospital. I was in there for probably an hour. There were people in the lobby and they were there before I got there, but they called me back first because they go by the severity of each patient's um injury or what, for whatever reason they're there. They go by the severity on a case by case basis. And so they called me back right away. They took my vitals. And they looked at it, and Dr. Leffler was on call last night. Thank you, Dr. Leffler, for your professionalism. And there's still a bump right there from the bite, but he looked at it and he says, "It looks like you got the head out too, because I don't see the head in there." And then he prescribed me an antibiotic, which of course yesterday was Saturday, and he says, "Well, the pharmacy in Chesaning is not going to be open tomorrow, being Sunday, so you'd probably just have to go to Walmart to get it." So I did. Um, I am taking doxycycline, I think is what it's called. It's a weird name for a medicine, but all medicines have weird names. Um, that's the antibiotic that I was prescribed. So I went to Walmart in Owasso this morning, picked it up from their pharmacy. Then I swung by Dollar General in Chesaning to get some snack pack, the pudding cups, so that way I can take the medicine because I can't swallow pills. So the only way I'd be able to take the medicine is if I crush it up inside of a snack pack, a pudding cup, and they are capsules. So I'd have to break it open and dump the medicine in and mix it up real good. And I couldn't tell the difference, but I did take it, according to me. And I did mix it up in the pudding. So I have to take 2 of them a day. So I took one earlier, and then before I go to bed tonight, I'll take the other one when I wake up tomorrow, and so on and so forth. So I have to take 2 pills a day. No refills. I just take them until they're gone. And by then, hopefully, um, whatever's going on, because he said it wasn't, no evidence of Lyme disease or anything like that, which was good. That was the news I wanted to hear, and I'm glad I went on my own volition, instead of someone telling me I needed to go. I decided that I wanted to go myself, just as a precautionary measure. Everything turned out good. I'm still on the medication, and I'll be taking that until it runs out. So that was my fun night last night. Didn't run into any other issues with any, doctors or anything like that. They were all very professional, very courteous, and I also had a doctor appointment on Tuesday. I had to fast for 10 hours because my family doctor ordered up labs to see how the kidney's doing. So I had to cut off all food and water at midnight, or food and drink rather, at midnight. And then the next day, because Amy had to go uptown to the same outpatient clinic in Chesaning where, she gets her labs drawn. I had to go and get my labs drawn. And so we had it done the same day. And I did bruise a little bit. I don't know if I can show you guys, but I did bruise a little bit on the inside bend of my arm. Um, I don't know if you guys could see that or not, but yeah, there's a little bruise there. Um, and she, the lady at the lab clinic, the outpatient lab clinic, she does a stellar job with blood draws. You barely feel it. The last time I didn't feel anything. This time I felt maybe just a little pinch, but it wasn't anything, substantive, anything that's gonna, feel like I've been harpooned. um, but it's been a busy weekend, a busy week, and tomorrow is Monday. I don't know what my plans are for tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going out to Pine Run. I did go out to Pine Run last week with Dad, and it was a lot of fun. So my buddy Dan, whom of which, by the way, has his Sunday night show, and the link to that is in the chat. He's got what's called the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards. It's my buddy Dan. He goes live on 103.9 The Fox, which is a radio station in Flint, Michigan. He goes live every Sunday from 7 until 11. Of course, if there's Detroit Lions football, then his show gets preempted for the live football on the football stream on the radio. But because now Lions season is over, it shouldn't be preempted, at least for a while. But Dan will be live tonight at 7 o'clock on 103.9 The Fox. You just follow the link in the chat, and it will take you directly to the player. All the music that's being played on air will be played on the internet. So you can tune into the Fox Sunday Flashback at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Depending on your time difference or whatever time zone you're in, you'll have to figure out, where that applies. But 7 o'clock Eastern time, which would be, Michigan time, that's tonight. So make sure you tune in. And the number is 810-230-9777 for your request. He plays classic rock, classic country, and southern rock. Again, area code 810-230-9777, which spells out the call letters WRSR. So there's my plug for Dan Richards on my Sunday video update. I have just plugged and promoted the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards, and he plays a lot of good stuff. I love his shows every week. And of course, we have 4 comments this week by none other than Chewing Off My Toenail, who is a regular in my chat and always brings a laugh and a smile. So this week he says, a toenail had grown out of my Salisbury steak for dinner last night. I wasn't planning on eating Salisbury steak anytime soon. Then he says, I will hide and protect frightened toenails inside my couch cushions. I didn't know toenails could be frightened. I didn't know toenails had the capacity to feel emotions, but I will spin my disco ball around as my toenails smile and start dancing. And then last but not least, he says, I love crispy, crusty, smoky, hardwood, bacon-flavored toenails. Chewing off my toenail, thank you so much for another awesome week of humor. I appreciate that. And King Bob says, what's up? What's up, King Bob? So, yeah. This week, I don't know if I'm going to Pine Run tomorrow. I say that every Sunday because, I never know what's going on, and I don't know what Dad has planned because I'm currently without a vehicle at the moment. I'm currently looking for another vehicle, and I haven't found one yet that's, within my price range, but I'm going to continue to look, and hopefully soon I'll find one. What else? I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Pine Run. I was planning on doing some grocery shopping tomorrow, but I might wait and do that on Tuesday. And then for the rest of the week, I don't know what's going on. It's hard to say, really. You can't predict what's going to happen from one day to the next because, things just tend to pop up out of nowhere. Yesterday, and this is funny. This is funny. So yesterday was the 20-year reunion, high school class reunion of 2005, which would have been me had I graduated. Um, I didn't go to that, and I think I had given a reason why I didn't plan on going to it. It was basically because when we were all in school together, I took a lot of shit from them, and I figure, why give them another opportunity? Why give them one last opportunity to take their jabs at me and to be the, arrogant assholes that they are, whom of which I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire. Um, why would I give them another chance? Why would I give them another opportunity to bully and harass and intimidate? So I cheated them out of their opportunity. They invited me, which I think is really strange. I just think it's really strange that these people who have given me shit for all those years when we were in school together, and now they want me to come to a class reunion party? Yeah, fuck you. That was never gonna happen, not in 1,000 years. And, I haven't received any pushback from that yet, but I'm sure at some point I will, and that's fine, you know? The person who, became friends with me on Facebook, she's like, "Well, are you gonna be there?" I didn't give a yes, and I didn't give a no. So yesterday, my not showing up should have been, the answer. Uh, there's this girl who wants me to get with her. I'm just checking my Facebook real quick, guys. I'm gonna sign out here. But the person who friended me, because I'd known her for a very long time, and she's, "Well, are you gonna be there?" Well, I didn't give a yes and I didn't give a no. Um, I just said, "Hey, you wanna be friends on Facebook?" I sent her a friend request, she accepted it. Now, because I didn't show up yesterday, she might not wanna stay friends anymore, which it's, oh, well, I don't give a fuck, really. Um, the thing is, if I would have been treated with respect and courtesy and kindness, and if I would have been recognized as a human being instead of just like a punching bag for them, not physically a punching bag figuratively, meaning that, I was a punching bag in terms of insults and being teased and bullied and harassed and all that shit. If they would have treated me better and accepted me for who I was, then there may have been a chance that I would have went to the class reunion and I would have been happy to see everybody, but I have a feeling that if I would have gone, I would have felt sick to my stomach knowing that these assholes are still in town, knowing that these assholes it's the same group of people who think that they're above and beyond everybody else because they married into money or they had everything handed to them. Now they think they're better than everybody else. It's those same group of fucking people that I cannot stand and want nothing to do with. Now, if they would have treated me better when we were in school, my feelings towards them would be different. But see, they never showed that to me. They never showed me that side of them. It's because I'm different. Because I didn't, they couldn't squeeze me into their neat little box of who I should be or what I should have been. They couldn't do it and they still can't. And so, of course, I'm the kid from the wrong side of the tracks. Fine by me. I don't care. Um, but just know that I had no interest in being around people who made me feel uncomfortable when we were in school. Why am I gonna give them another opportunity to take their proverbial jabs at me by making comments and, you know, because then I would have spoken up and I would have created a scene and I probably would have been kicked out of Pintown. It is a nice establishment. I love Pintown Lanes. They've got good food there. The people, the bartenders are friendly. They don't go and stick their nose in everybody's business, not as far as I can tell, unless someone local comes into the chat and corrects me, and proves me wrong on that. Um, but they're friendly people, although they're people from town. I get treated a lot better at Pentown than I ever would at the back 40, because at the back 40, they're too uppity and they're too high class and prim and proper. You can't cut loose. You can't unwind because they'll judge you. Now, if I go out to Pine Run Inn, I have friends out there. Dan Richards, of course, and his wife Georgianne, and there's some other people that I get along with. Wayne and Donna, Dave and Evelyn, my buddy Kenny, my buddy Terry. And we all goof off. We all goof off and have fun, and no one's judging anybody. And if they are, fuck them. We know how to have fun. We know how to um, get the laughter going. We know how to make a great time what it is. We are the life of the party, so to speak. Um, and I say that about myself and my dad and Kenny and Terry and Dave and Evelyn, Wayne and Donna, Dan and Georgianne, of course. We know how to get the party going. We're the ones who when we start coming in, that's when things start get interesting. And I just love it out there. It's a wonderful environment. The wait staff is awesome. I always go in with a smile. They always greet me with a smile. In fact, I was, the Facebook follower of the month for the Pine Run Inn, which was really awesome. I still got the gift card that I won, and I think it's reloadable. I can redeem it at Pine Run anytime. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and being the follower of the month, and I enjoy the company. I enjoy the people, and there's one waitress out there. Every time I go out there, every week without fail, how's your son? How's your little boy doing? And she showed me on her phone. She pulled up on her phone. She got a nice big swing set with a slide on it for her little boy. It's like, oh my gosh. And video of the child sliding down the slide and swinging on the swings. It's just the coolest thing ever. It's like, well, that's cute. And so I want to come and swing on the swing set. And she kind of laughed. And you can joke around, and you can, just kind of cut loose, let your shoulders down, and just not be so uptight. Yeah, you get some people in there every once in a while who are questionable, like this guy who came in, and he's had a history of being thrown out of that establishment before. But now there's new owners, and he hasn't been thrown out yet. But he'll sit at the bar, and he'll literally approach women who appear to be single or just sitting alone, and he'll lean in on them, and he'll brush up against them. He'll get in their personal space. Well, he hasn't been back lately. I don't know if he was kicked out, because I'm not sure if the management kicked him out, but he hasn't been back. I think there's too many people around who are watching him and watching his behavior towards women. And I actually went up to talk to this woman when he was leaning in on her, getting in her personal space. It's like, Stacy, how you doing, sweetheart? Just trying to give him the signal, dude, don't get in her personal space. She doesn't want you in her personal space. And I kind of help her along, because you never know what people are up to. Kaleo Strong, what's up, buddy? Great to see you. But yeah, so other than you get the few problem people in there every so often, but the Pine Run Inn is actually a friendly establishment. I love going in there. They've got excellent. Oh, their food is awesome. We usually get what's called the Murphy's basket every week. And what is the Murphy's basket? It's basically, fish and chips. but it's walleye and french fries. Oh my god, is it ever so good. I love their Murphy's basket. It's just ugh, my mouth waters just thinking about it. I don't have any drool on my chin, do I? I don't think I do. Uh, it's good. They've got excellent food out there. They've got delicious, bacon cheeseburgers and, um, a club sandwich called my wife's favorite. It's a cross between a BLT and a grilled cheese. Oh my god, so good. I'm gonna have to leave in about 5 minutes. Okay, Kaleo. Okay, buddy. How you doing, by the way, man? Good to see you in my chat. But yeah, so that's kind of how things are going out there at the Pine Run Inn. And hey, Kaleo, I don't know if you heard, but I was in the hospital last night. I got bit by a tick, and I had to go get it checked out, and everything checked out good. I'm just taking an antibiotic for it, and I don't have Lyme disease, so that's a good thing. But I just have to keep taking the medicine and go from there. So now this week, I don't know, I don't know what's going on this week. I don't know if dad was planning on if dad had other plans or if we were going out to Pine Run tomorrow. I have no idea what my plans are. I'm probably gonna do some grocery shopping on Tuesday, and then, um, mm, after that, I don't know. I can't predict anything because, like last week, things just kinda come up, and so, um, yeah, so I'm just kinda sitting here for the next half hour because 'cause I'm usually here, Kaleo, I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm here for an hour, between 3 and 4 Eastern Time. So it would be, I think, 2 o'clock there, 1 or 2 o'clock. I don't know how many hours behind me you are because I don't wanna give away where you live, um, specifically, but I think you're an hour behind me because it's 3:32 here. 1 hour, okay. Or it's 1 there. Let me, let me see here. Come on. Um, Let me see here. Okay, yeah, you are 1 hour behind me, okay, that's right. 2:32. Okay, yep, yep, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I couldn't remember because I think you're Central Time, I think. Because, part of the Upper Peninsula, the Western Upper Peninsula is actually in the same time zone as you. Because when you go down Highway 2 from St. Ignace in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, when you go so far west, you actually go into the Central Time Zone, from the Eastern Time Zone. And that time zone also includes Chicago and Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Madison, Wisconsin. Um, so yeah, you're an hour behind me. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. So, did your mom have a good birthday, Kaleo? I saw she had a birthday yesterday. Your mom and dad are the sweetest. They are so cool. I just love them to death. They're good people. Um, I hope she had an awesome birthday yesterday. So, let's see, what else can I talk about? Hmm. I think I pretty much covered everything. I don't really know what else there is to. Oh, good, good. I'm glad she had a good birthday yesterday. Your mom and dad are just two of the sweetest people in the world. I love and adore them both, and I love and adore you, buddy. You're just the coolest. Um, but let's see what else there is to talk about because I don't know what to talk about. We had some a celebrity death, I think. A WWE wrestler named Sabu had passed away. He was 60 years old. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Sheik, the original Sheik, was Sabu's uncle, and I think they had ties to Michigan. I think they did. Sabu was born in Staten Island, New York. Oh, my dog? Yeah, that's her name. His name is Scruffy. Scruffy. Oh, he's being stubborn now. He ain't gonna look at the camera. Scruffy. Scruffy. No, he's being a brat right now. And I got another dog here that you can't see, Luna. And my other dog, Barkley, is laying on the floor. Oh, in front of the couch. I hit my hand on my printer. Ouch. He was born in Staten Island, New York. Let's see. I'm trying to find. He was in ECW. Yes, he was. Sabu's real name was Terry Brunk. I think the Sheik was his uncle. I'm pretty sure. The Sheik was posthumously inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame by his nephew Sabu. Okay. Rob Van Dam is from Michigan. And Rob Van Dam was trained by the Sheik, I think. Maybe I'm not understanding that correctly. Who trained Rob Van Dam? Rob Van Dam was trained by the original Sheik, Ed Farhat. Okay, Rob Van Dam is originally from Battle Creek, Michigan. Your dog's laying on your leg? Yeah, I could be sitting on that couch over there because that's usually where my dad sits. He's not here today. Oh, you gotta leave? Okay, Kaleo, we'll talk soon, buddy. I love you and you be good. But sometimes when I'm sitting over on that couch, Scruffy will come up and he'll rest his head just like it is on the pillow. He'll rest it on my lap, or Luna will rest her leg on her head on my lap. The dogs are very cozy and comfy. The only problem is I think that's how I got the tick bite, because they are bringing ticks into the house, and can't have that. Can't have that. I don't need to be going back to the hospital and being tested for Lyme disease, because that's not a good thing. Don't need to be getting sick. Lyme disease is a very serious disease. It's not, it's not anything that you would ever want to take lightly. What you doing in that bedroom?
Looking for some socks.
Oh, she's looking for socks. Everyone say bye to Kaleo. I love him. He is so cool. And Kaleo, I don't know. I'll talk to your mom and dad and see about maybe coming down to chill for a weekend, because I had never been in the state where you live. I'm not going to give it away. I've never been there before, so I think it'd be kind of cool. Coming, knocking stuff over. Oh, I thought I heard something falling there. Because I'd never been to your state before, and it would be kind of cool to check things out, and maybe chill with you guys and get some of that cooking. But I'm trying to think of what else there's to talk about. I pretty much covered everything. So I've got about 20 minutes left. Glitch Ninja, what's happening, my buddy? How you doing, man? So I don't know what to talk about. Sorry for the dead air. I run out of things to talk about. I don't know what else to talk about because I have exhausted everything that I wanted to discuss here already.
Well, one thing I
Yeah.
was going to talk about
Okay.
when I come out is when I went to the doctor, what I found out the other day.
Excuse me. Oh, yeah, I know what I can talk about. We went to Golden Corral last week in Saginaw. Oh my God, that was good. Talking about food. How could I have forgotten? We went to Golden Corral last week. It was my treat. What am I doing? I'm doing a show called the Sunday Video Update. What are you doing, Glitch Ninja? I do these shows every week, every Sunday from 3 until 4 Eastern time, by the way. I don't know what time zone you're in. You broke your toe? Ouch. Well, how did you break your toe? You're not supposed to do that. Um, yeah, we went to Golden Corral. They're all, oh my God. The all you can eat, the buffet. Oh gosh. Water slide. Ooh. Ooh. That must have been a pretty slippery slide if you broke your toe. Ouch, man. Are you feeling better? You feeling okay today? I would hope so. Um, Actually, I think this is partly the reason why I keep my chat log open because if I run out of things to say, um, I've always got people in chat. They can bring something up and kind of detract me from, dead air while I'm live here on YouTube. You're feeling a little bit better. Well, I'm glad that some progress is made. I got bit by a tick last week. Yeah, I had to go to the hospital last night, but I'm okay. It's healing up nicely. No Lyme disease, nothing, of consequence, nothing to worry about. Of course, my dog wants outside. Right when I'm in the middle, you do this every time. I swear. I have 3 dogs, and every time I do this live stream, at least one of them has to be let outside. So if you guys would excuse me, I have to let him out because now he's telling me he's got to go outside. Of course, you would interrupt me and take me away from what I'm doing, like you always do, every week. I love you to death, but shit kind of gets annoying after a while. Come on, Luna. Go. Scruff, you're going to have to wait. They do this every time. It's like they know when I'm in the middle of something, then they have to be let outside. I mean, I don't neglect my animals. If they got to go outside, they go outside. But at the same time, they're pulling me away from what I'm doing here. I got a show to do.
I'm sorry. My fault.
Your fault.
Yeah, I'm in the kitchen. You're out here doing your thing. I don't know. They gotta go out half the damn time.
I understand. You understand what, Glitch? What do you understand? Inquiring minds want to know, what do you understand, Mr. Glitch Ninja? You understand my situation where the dogs have to be let out? Yeah, they're dogs. I mean, when they got to go out, they got to go out. Now, if I were to do this live show in my bedroom, it would probably be more of a headache because that means I would have to get up, literally walk out of my bedroom, come all the way out here to the living room, which means that you're going to see nothing but my bedroom wall. Then I have to wait for them to get done. It just wouldn't work out. That's why I hope that there's at least one other person here when I'm doing the Sunday video because
Usually Dad's out here.
yeah, but he's busy with frickin' frack doing who knows what. Yeah, going to get food at the store shouldn't take 6 hours, but Yeah, they go to McDonald's and use the Wi-Fi, and
That's why they asked if Dad ate yet.
yeah. Did you eat yet, Dad? No, I let my dad starve.
Dad
Like,
ate, he says, I already ate. He says, what? He says, couple sandwiches.
yeah, like I let my dad go without food. Give me a fucking break. I don't let my dad go without food. Hell, if I eat, Dad eats.
If you don't eat, Dad eats.
Yeah, I mean
We eat when we're ready to eat.
we all eat. We have food here at the house. You know, my dad is 67 years old. My dad is 67 years old, and yeah, Dad's got food. Dad gets, you know, he gets food in his stomach. We all do around here. And when you look at me, it shows that I have been eating a lot because, you know, I weigh 225 pounds. Um, I weigh 225. When I was at my appointment last week, I had to stand on the scale, and it's like, do you really want me to stand on the scale? I think it started to scream a little bit, um, because I stood on the scale and it said 225 and some change, and it's like, is this scale broken by chance? No, it's not broken. It's just that I eat a lot. I've been eating quite a bit. And the reason for that is because depression. You know, I know a lot of people don't eat when they get depressed. They don't want to eat. They don't want to do anything. They're despondent. They stay in bed all day. They do whatever, keep to themselves. However, it has the opposite effect on me because when I get depressed about things, missing my mom and you know whatever else, I eat because eating is like it's the brain reacts to, ooh, this tastes good. This, you know, this is delicious food. It tastes good, and it's relieving. And that's not a good thing. I shouldn't resort to food when I'm depressed, but that's how I respond to depression. I eat. And now, as a result of that, I weigh 225 pounds. It's not healthy. I drink a lot of Pepsi, which also, you know, that's a lot of sugar. It's not good to drink that much. Um, Beer, once in a while. I'm not, you know, a heavy drinker. When I do go out to drink, it's occasionally I might have a beer, a couple beers, and that's the end of that. Um, you know, on my birthday, I might get tipsy. On New Year's, I get tipsy. Um, but when push comes to shove, it all comes down to depression, which is why I eat so much. Depression has the opposite effect on me as it would other people. And unhealthy eating is just, I don't recommend it, but when I see, you know, like fettuccine alfredo, it's like, yeah, chicken fettuccine alfredo is like one of my favorite things to eat. And pasta helps to gain weight because your body turns starches into sugars, and that's where the weight comes from. And so I eat anything that's not tied down. I love fettuccine alfredo too, Glitch. Um, it's really good. It's just, again, it tastes good. And when I get depressed thinking about something that makes me sad or feel down and out, I eat something that takes my mind off it, and then I react differently, and then I just suddenly stop thinking about it. It's like, okay, this is good. I'll focus on this. And like even Taco Bell, you know, we have a Taco Bell here in Chesning, and you know, they're expensive as hell, but if I have the extra money, hell yeah, I'm gonna go in, get me a Nacho Bel Grande with a hard shell taco and maybe a couple of beef and bean burritos, and I'll pig out. I'll pig out at Taco Bell. Or if I go to McDonald's, I get the 4D. That's the item on their menu. 4D. It's the McSpicy or the spicy chicken, whatever it is, and it's good. I like spicy food. I had their chicken strips, McDonald's chicken strips. They're just chicken nuggets and they're like, you know, just stretched out. That's it. and, dunk them in ranch dressing. There you go. My dog is barking. I don't know what the hell she's barking at. Probably the neighbor. Um, but you're I'm making you hungry, Glitch. Okay, well, bye. You're leaving so suddenly. That's fine. Um, I
Too hungry.
yeah, I'm talking food, so that's why he had to leave. Uh, that's okay. I talk about any number of things here in the Sunday video updates. This is what happens when I run out of things to say. I kind of veer off into other unrelated topics and subjects. I don't know what the hell she is barking at out there, but I'm soon going to find out. I'm going to check my camera on my phone here and see what it is she's barking at. It could be because I think I hear their dogs next door. We're down to the last 10 minutes of the show, by the way. Um, come on, camera, load. Oh, really? Okay, there it is. All right. So no one's here. Um, let's see here. Gonna check the side camera up here, which is facing to the east. Okay, Barkley. I see Barkley and Luna. You better knock it off out there, Luna. You better stop. Knock it off. She heard me. She's looking around like, where the fuck did that come from? uh, yeah, it came from the camera up here because I can talk. There's an intercom built into the camera, and I can talk. And she's starting up again. She's starting up again. So now I'm gonna have to tell her to stop. Oh, this dog, love her to pieces, but Luna, Luna, that's enough. Shut up. Not another word. Luna, what did I say? Enough. Luna. Goddamn dog. But yeah, I our neighbors have dogs, and when they bark, they bark. You know how it goes with dogs. When one dog barks, they all bark, kind of a thing. Um, my neighbors next door, Jim and Steph, really nice people, and they got dogs, and they're friendly dogs. Um, but they're usually in the house most of the time, and whenever they hear our dogs barking, they bark, and when they bark, our dogs bark. So I look at it as they're just talking to each other. They're speaking, canine language. I don't understand their language, but I would guess that maybe they're speaking to one another in a way that we don't understand. Only dogs understand. So in that sense, it's like, okay, you guys just have a barking contest. You can bark at one another. It's cool. I don't care. Um, but when it's time to stop, it's time to stop. Yeah, I got her to stop momentarily. Because she does look up at the camera. When I tell her knock it off, she'll look up at the camera like, it sounds like Jared's voice. I better stop. Um, yeah, you better. uh, but and the thing is, like I said, I think she's just speaking to the dogs next door. It's a little conversation that the dogs have. They talk to one another, which I don't mind it. If their dogs bark, my dogs bark. It's cool. They can talk and whatever. But there, there's also a time to not do it. Like, hey, I'm doing a show here. Do you mind? No, they don't mind. They don't care. But I love my dogs. I love my dogs. Barkley, he's just getting so old now to where, he gets around, he eats and drinks, so that's a good thing, but he's just so old. We've had him for a very long time. And now it takes him a couple of minutes to get up and go. And it's just because he's so old. And we take good care of him and we keep an eye on him. He's our top dog around here. And Scruffy, he's you know Scruffy. I noticed with there being two other dogs here, Barkley and Luna, when Dad spoils the dogs, Scruffy will start to shake because I think what it is, he's afraid that he's not going to get anything. And it's like, Scruffy, Dad's going to give you a bite. He's not going to give something to the other two dogs and not you. But it's just in their nature. When it's like, well, I'm going to get some of that too, right? Well, yeah, I'll spoil you. But I think it's something else why Scruffy shakes like that. Like someone was being mean to him. And rest assured, it was none of us three. We're not mean to our dogs. We love our dogs. We would never hurt them, but someone else who I'm not going to mention, because he never acted like that before. But I kind of know who is responsible for that, and shame on the motherfucker for doing it. But anyway, we're down to about 4 minutes. This hour goes by so fast. Like, so fast. Was there anything you wanted to talk about, Amy? Because I don't really know what else to discuss. Well, we're down to the last few minutes, so Amy's gonna come and because quite frankly, guys, I have run out of things to talk about.
Well, that same morning that you went to your that same day that you went to your doctor,
Yeah.
I went to my doctor that morning.
Yeah.
On my left foot that they did that surgery on.
Yeah.
Well, after I had the surgery, it got infected.
Yeah.
So they gave me antibiotic. Well, I go back.
Yeah.
Because I see stuff that I thought was something else, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And the doctor went and cleaned it all out. But we're thinking they may have just taken the abscess out.
Yeah.
Didn't clean the wall of the foot.
Negligence. Sounds like negligence.
Where it was.
Yeah.
And then when you go back to that doctor that did the surgery, tells you there ain't nothing I can do.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do, but he's the one who operated on your foot.
Yeah, and more or less, he made me pretty much go to my PCP, which is Dr. Patsy, have Dr. Patsy look at it this time. And Dr. Patsy's the one that's taking care of it now.
So that sounds like a negligence thing, because how do you work on someone's body part and then say, well, there's nothing I can do?
No, I forgot to. He ended up sending me through therapy.
Therapy?
Yeah, physical therapy up here in Chesaning for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I quit 2 weeks early. I had no transportation. How can I go? You and Dad were both out of a vehicle.
Yeah.
You know?
Dad's got his truck, but I'm without a vehicle now.
So it was just like, do what I can. My problem is when I started seeing that.
Hi, Linda. Hello, Linda Hendrick. How are you? You caught us right at the tail end of the show, Linda.
We appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you coming in. I go from 3 until 4 every Sunday. You caught like the tail end of the show, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. But I'll be back next week. I will definitely be back next week. I kind of I hit a wall on things to talk about, because everything I wanted to discuss, I already did, and then I had like a remaining 45 minutes where I'm just sitting here like, I don't know what else to talk about. What am I gonna do? Uh, we got through it. I brought Amy in.
Another good thing, Jared,
Yeah,
is I've got my own little family going right now.
yeah.
I've got my son,
Mm-hmm.
his girlfriend,
Yeah,
and her two youngest kids,
yeah. Nice.
which is cool. Well, then I got the biological granddaughter.
But anyway, we're at the end of the show. We'll close it on that. Oh, my eye's twitching. We will close it on that. So, Amy, you go ahead and offer some final words before we go.
Peace out. Have a good day. And be safe out there, everybody. You never know what's going to happen.
It's true. That's very true. I hear a car door shut.
Might have been Dad.
Because it's 4:00 right on the dot. So I'll see if maybe Dad's home. Come on, camera, load. Nope, he's not home. So he missed this week's Sunday video because of the two idiots that he had to go running for. But anyway, that does it. That concludes this week's Sunday video update. My name is Jared Fuller. I will be back again next week with another update. Maybe I'll have more things to talk about and not hit a wall and not know what to talk about, and I'm flailing around trying to think of things to talk about. So for Amy and my dogs, my name is Jared Fuller. I will be back again next week on the 25th. Y'all have a great week. Treat each other kindly and do the best for other people. Try to make the world a better place. I love y'all, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.